We are here with His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Meddy Katwala, the founder and chairman of Presidential Outreach Organization. Your Excellency, can you tell us more about POO and the aim of the organization?
Thank you so much, Notlantla, and to all the viewers watching this interview all over the world. Thank you so much for the question that you have just put to me now. Presidential Outreach Organization, it's a great mandatory vision that has the aim of promoting good governance and also to contribute to the community upliftment. We want to see, because for many centuries, we Africans, we are good in negatives. We always condemn our leaders, insult our leaders. We don't appreciate the good that they are doing. We don't promote peace. We promote divisions. We are looking at Africa. Look at Africa today. There's a lot that is going on in the continent. Uprising. There's a lot of conflict. Because we Africans, we don't believe in promoting and supporting our leaders. I believe Presidential Outreach Organization, we are coming in as the NGO, non-governmental organization, to ensure that we work closely with the President, head of the state, and government leaders, including private sectors, to promote peace, good governance, and leadership in the continent. The Presidential Outreach Organization aim is to ensure that we showcase the good that presidents are doing. There are many things that our presidents are doing, but we as communities or Africans, we are ignoring. Until they are gone, they will begin to realize it was good, it was this and that, but it's too late. For instance, I want to discuss about Muammar Gaddafi. Many of his people thought it was bad, thought it was cruel. But now, the situation in Libya does not help the Libyan people. Libya was one of the great countries before. The situation in the DRC with the former President Mobutu, everybody said he was a dictator. They didn't want him. He was gone. Why are they still fighting Kabila today? Joseph Kabila. The same thing with South Africa. They didn't want Thabo Mbeki. They say he was arrogant, he was rude. Nobody supported Thabo Mbeki. He was now being recalled. Now, why are they fighting President Zuma again today? So you understand there's an issue in the continent that our people do not learn to appreciate leadership in the government. So the Presidential Outreach Organization, we are here to say, we want to be the supporting team to the head of the state, governors, ministers, mayors and pastors and different kind of people. That's what we sent for, to ensure that we also promote businesses in the continent. Thank you.
Wow, it seems as though this organization has a very unique approach to governance and community building. What are its aims to deal with the various issues that surround our communities, not just locally but globally? For instance, youth unemployment and corruption.
Well, the presidential stands on the issues of unemployment and corruption. Number one, we as Presidential Outreach Organization would love to be the platform that brings politicians and businesses together by promoting peace and good governance that will bring conducive environment for businesses to come and create jobs. There are many governments in the continent that says they will create jobs. I don't believe that there is any government with the capacity to create jobs. I think the government can only create a peaceful environment, security and humanism, peace, for them to be able to attract investors to come and create jobs and unemployment. So we believe that we need to tackle that issue as an NGO by creating a platform that will bring investors, business people and religion leaders to promote peace. And in return, we will see unemployment being eradicated, and the youth of today will be able to get jobs. We have a lot of young people who have degrees, who have diplomas, who are well educated, but they cannot find jobs. Why? Because there are no employment. And that's what we see, that's the only way that we can do that. And the second question that you ask about corruption, the Presidential Outreach Organization, we believe in a moral regeneration. We believe in moral ethics that promote good governance, uprooting corruption. And also we believe in God. We believe that if there is God in government, the fear of God in the government, we will see corruption being uprooted. Corruption is one of the key things that is destroying the continent. For instance, there are many former presidents who stole from our coffers in the continent and took the money in a Swiss bank in Europe. They bought properties, they bought investments. But those presidents are no longer, once their term ends or they've been recalled or there is uprising, the Western countries always confiscate their assets. And we as Africans, we don't benefit. We remain poor and poor. Now, the Presidential Outreach Organization is calling to all the leaders in the continent to begin to invest in the continent so that even if they are gone or something happened, the investment remain in the continent for the people of Africa. And that's the approach that we are taking to uproot corruption that makes them to be corrupted and take the money to China, take the money to Europe, to Dubai, wherever they want to take the money. We believe that the continent of Africa is still the best place to invest and put the money in. Yes.
Thank you. You speak a lot about peace and moral regeneration, but we cannot be in peace or be morally upright when a person is fighting poverty, where there is terrorism around poverty-stricken places. How does POO aim to eradicate such problems and lessen the burden of poverty and terrorism in the continent?
Well, terrorism, it's uprising. It's just an issue of a control and political, strife. What I can say is, terrorism will never be a mechanism or a way of resolving problems, because when you look at terrorism, many times terrorism do not target the leaders involved. Terrorism always target the innocents. We've seen thousands and thousands of innocent blood, children, women, men, youth being kidnapped and killed in a very brutal way, atrocities. And I believe that even terrorism can never resolve the problem of unemployment, because if you go around killing innocent people, bombing malls, killing people in the buses who have nothing to do with what you are asking for. I don't think that until today, no country, no state has been established through terrorism successfully. So what we are saying that the only way to tackle all the issue that is going on around the world in Africa, such as Boko Haram, Al Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, and all these terror groups. I believe the only thing to tackle this issue is for them to voice their concerns and to go out strongly and speak against what they are standing for through the way of dialogue, sitting down, piece on paper, talking. Because I don't believe that even the terrorism, they don't have capacity to fight. They don't, because they don't fight people who are blocking them. They are fighting the innocent people. So we are saying, we as Presidential Outreach Organization, terrorism is only destroying us among ourselves. We have to stop terrorism and go on the table on dialogue. That's the only way that terrorism will stop in the continent and around the globe. That's our approach. Because in the process of terrorism, we are seeing many students being kidnapped and killed. These are the future generation. What did they do for them to be killed and murdered? So this global issue of terror needs really to have a very good approach by promoting it. And also to the leaders of the world, they need also to listen to the concerns of these people who are carrying terror. What is the problem that is making them to go around and killing people? They need to sit on the table and have a great dialogue. And that's why we are saying, we as Presidential Outreach Organization, we want to reach out to the leaders involved, leaders who are facing terror. How can we be of help to bring negotiation, reconciliations, and dialogue without destroying innocent people and destroying structures that we have in the continent? I believe that as a continent, we're still behind in development. The more we go around and destroying and bombing our structures, our buildings, we are not helping ourselves. We are destroying still ourselves. So I call upon all the groups that are having different views in terms of terror to really come on the table and resolve the issue peacefully. Thank you.
Thank you. You answered a lot on terrorism, but I'd like to know also your view on poverty and how to tackle poverty, not just in the sense of job provision, but in a greater sense where people are sustainable in whatever area that they live.
Well, the approach that we are taking as Presidential Outreach Organization globally, but our main focus now is the continent plight of poverty and unemployment. We believe that number one, we need to promote agriculture. I think agriculture need to be, because Africa has a lot of potential. Africa is vast in terms of the land. We believe that by really ensuring that we promote agriculture in the continent, we will eradicate poverty and also starvation and drought in the continent. As a Presidential Outreach Organization, we believe that in working in collaboration with the government, in cooperation also with different sectors, private sectors and government, we can be able to eradicate poverty. Because what brings poverty is unemployment. We would love also to ensure that we promote businesses in the continent, like for instance, Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, the DRC, South Africa, Lesotho. We need to look for business people, African business people, to do what we call intra-Africa trades, whereby Africans are trading among themselves by promoting businesses, doing summits. And also, we believe that we need to industrialize Africa. Manufacturing sector, like for instance, recently I've heard on the news that there is a black company, Sekoko Mobile, that is now manufacturing cell phones in South Africa. So we want Africans to begin to manufacture. By manufacturing in every country, in every provinces, in every villages, we are going to create jobs. By creating in industries, manufacturer companies, we are going to have a lot of young people being employed. And when people are employed, then we are going to eradicate poverty. By just talking and talking, we've seen many times the parliament sitting down, speaking about job creation, speaking about eradication of poverty. We've seen Pan-African Parliament sitting and talking. We've seen a lot of talks. I want to say, as Presidential Outreach Organization, we want to be the NGO that will bring them together so they can be able to implement. The problem in Africa that we have is a problem of implementation. We talk too much. We talk too much. We have realized that most of our leaders and Africans, we talk too much. We want to sit in the meetings, spending budget, eating, dining, having coffees, tea, water. And we keep on talking, but no implementation. So we as Africans, we as a Presidential Outreach Organization, we want to be a platform that will ensure that we bring businesses and politicians together to ensure that everything that they are talking about must be implemented. Whatever that the African Union is talking about, whatever meetings that they're having in discussion must be implemented to eradicate poverty and unemployment. Whatever Pan-African Parliament or every government institution that is talking about, they must implement. So we are a force behind the government, behind the leaders, behind the business people to ensure that they implement. But we are not doing this through negatives. We want to promote peace and encourage them to implement. We are an organization that believes in peace, promotion of peace, humanism, and community upliftment. So we believe that by promoting good governance and by also initiating peace and humanism, not necessarily are taking leaders. We, as Presidential Outreach Organization, we are not here to condemn or criticize leaders. We will never criticize. We will never condemn them. But we are here as a force to encourage them. I mean, your media is there to discourage them and criticize them. Other organizations are there to condemn them. But we are a force behind to ensure we encourage